Hello everyone, this is Jennifer again, coming on for another video. It's been just a little over a week since my last one. Had a wonderful Easter weekend, went camping, got sunburnt like crazy. By the end of it, I was pretty ready to come home. It was really awesome though. Got to spend the weekend with my kids. Anyway, in this video, we're going to continue on with the trans question and just kind of expound on what I was talking about before. Today I'm going to talk about drag queens. And speaking of drag queen, I want to put a shout out to one of my favorites, Misty Valley Paramount. She's here on YouTube. Look her up. She's got some great tutorials and she takes requests and does wonderful work with makeup, and she's just beautiful. Anyway, thank you for checking out my videos. I've got some pretty good response on my last one. It was wonderful. Thank you, everyone. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Drag queens. Drag queens are men that usually identify as male, and for entertainment purposes, they do female impersonation. Many of them are extremely good at it and have a lot of fun. Some of them are transgender, and they have lots of fun with it as well. Anyway, a lot of them, like I said, they do it for entertainment purposes. Some of them are gay, and I know the persona, the image of it is that most drag queens are gay. I would have to disagree with that. I think most drag queens are not gay. They just enjoy entertaining people. They really love it. And I've seen several of them that are on YouTube. I haven't seen any live in person, which is a drag. No pun intended. But I've seen quite a few. They're wonderful, and there's quite a few. I know there's RuPaul and Head of Lettuce and quite a few others that are very good and very famous at it. Another one of my favorites that I know a lot of you know about is Jessica Who HD. You should check her out. She is very good. She isn't necessarily a drag queen, but she does do stand-up comedy, and often she does it in drag. And so I guess you could kind of call her a drag queen that way, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, just check her out. She has some great videos. She's into comedy, and they're extremely funny, and some of them are very inspirational and wonderful. Anyway, I guess back to the drag queen thing. The drag queens you can usually identify because, one, they do it for entertainment. Two, they love to exaggerate their makeup. They love big hair, flashy dresses, very loud and outspoken, and are very fun. And most often, you can't even tell on a daily basis that someone is a drag queen, simply because, like I said, they dress up their female impersonators, and a lot of them are men, and they identify as being male, and their daily lives are lived as males. And so, but they're wonderful, and they have some great stuff. Anyway, you should check them out. That's about it for the drag queens. There's pretty self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and also touch on the transgender. As many of you know, I am transgender. And as a transgender, we don't identify as being drag queens, and we don't identify as being cross-dressers, simply because we identify as being female. And as that, we don't necessarily, when we dress up as women and in our what we consider our preferred gender role, we don't feel like we're dressing in drag, because it's how we feel. It's what we think is natural. And so I guess in that way, if some of us that live half lives as our female personas per se. The other time when they were living as their males, I guess they are cross-dressing. Then I know I feel like it whenever I have to dress as my male persona. It makes me kind of feel like I'm a cross-dresser a little bit. Anyway, a lot of us aren't necessarily considered gay, though many of us do form lesbian relationships or gay relationships. There are quite a few out there that are considered heterosexual. I myself I consider myself heterosexual. I am very much into men, and so yeah, I guess some people would consider that gay simply because I was born as a male. Personally, I don't see myself as being gay. And so yeah, a lot of us are not out in the open, and many of us are closet simply because the social taboo that being transgendered or dressing as the opposite gender is a taboo and is not socially acceptable. But there are some of us that are out and enjoy lives as our chosen gender. What sets apart transgender people than others is that, like I said, we identify with the opposite gender. And by identify, I mean that means we feel inside that we were born supposed to be the other gender, pretty much. Some of us may not feel that we were born that way. Some of us do. And there's a lot of different speculation as to what causes transgenderism. But the end result is all the same. We all feel like we were born into mismatching bodies, per se. I know that I think I like a female. I feel like a female inside, and when I look in the mirror, when I'm not dressed as a female, the face that stares back at me isn't what I expect to see. And so that's what I feel. And a lot of us, you know, we never really learn to accept that, or it's a plague. I don't say a plague, but it's a condition that affects us for the rest of our lives. Some of us go through SRS surgery and align our bodies with what we feel inside. And many of us that do that feel wonderful after that. And so for those ladies that do that, that's so wonderful. And I hope that one day I can be a part of that and maybe feel some of that release. Anyway, the statistics on transgender are varied. Many polls say that 1 in about 300 people are transgender, and that ranges from anywhere from 1 to 300 to 1 in 50. A lot of people don't accept it or acknowledge it in themselves, and so they don't really know it. I would probably say personally that statistic is quite a bit higher. I'd say probably about 1 in about 1,500 people is actually truly transgender. The rest of them would be considered cross-dressers or somewhere in between. Remember, the role is that there is no defined line between a lot of these. A lot of people fit into multiple categories and span the gap there. I know before I accepted who I was and came out, I was a gap spanner. I used to cross-dress, and but I still felt like I was transgender, but I was fighting it and I didn't accept it in myself. And so, but once I did and accepted who I was, I became strictly transgender. I'm not a cross-dresser anymore because I feel like I'm dressing gender appropriate. Anyway, that's a little bit on drag queens and transgender people. And so, yeah, I'm going to say goodbye. This movie is a little bit longer than normal. And just want to give big hugs and kisses to all the people that have been watching me. Please subscribe. I have a wonderful channel, I think, and I'm going to have a lot of more wonderful videos to come. And so thank you very much, and goodbye.